This is another Disney podcast production.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Another Disney Podcast. This is for the week of July the 2nd, and this is episode 26. Let's do it.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. It feels like we haven't been on this platform forever.
I know.
Even though I really just saw you less than a week ago.
I know. Well, we recorded like back-to-back shows, so we would have a little filler show while we were hanging out together in the Orlandoville. I don't think that's
O-Town,
really
as you like to call it. The O-Town.
That's not an O-Town song at all, but it just went with it. Yeah, man, fresh back from our trip. It was amazing. Hopefully I look a little tanner or burnt. Definitely burnt, but that's because we went to the beach on Sunday. Zay and I spent hours at Croatan, and I got a little toasty. Little toasty. But it was worth it. Yeah, man. So we got a lot to talk about. So we haven't met in a couple of weeks, like on a show, and like tons of announcements have happened. There's some cool things that I think that have been talked about this week that are worth kind of unpacking and speculating, because we just love to speculate because we're always wrong.
We're so good at it.
We're like 2 for 906. And hey, in some sports, that's Hall of Fame numbers.
That's so pretty good, man.
Gonna go with it.
If you're in baseball, you are going to Cooperstown.
That's right. So yeah, and then we'll do like a brief trip report, because we only went to Disney for a couple of our days for our week that we were there, but we got to spend the weekend with you guys, and it was fun. We'll talk about where we stayed, which was off property, and there'll be a little bit more of that in a week or so, or 2 weeks on Plan for the Magic, one of the other shows on the neighborhood of shows, as Brandon likes to call it, on the
neighborhood of networks.
Yeah, the neighborhood of Another Disney Podcast. We'll go with it. It's like In the Heights.
In the Heights, yeah.
Just go with it. So, man, where to start? I know where I want to start. So you, I know we talk about this every episode, but your backyard is Magic Kingdom. And
Correct.
So you finally got to experience like a legit fireworks. And so you sent me some video.
Yes.
So what was that?
So that was the first test show of Happily Ever After. It was the only thing that was just ridiculous about it was obviously it had to be after the park closed on Saturday night. So they didn't go off until 11:30. So this old man trying to stay up to 11:30 to watch fireworks didn't go very well. I had to take like 3 naps to make it to 11:30. But yeah, they went right off at 11:30, and I thought maybe it was just going to be shooting off some random fireworks just to make sure kind of stuff works. But no, this was full show. So I always, it's pretty well timed up to the clock on my iPhone. So as soon as that thing struck 11:30, I hit the button to start the music. So we had the music, synced up with the fireworks, and it's amazing. I was like, I'm not going to remember any of these. Like, I don't remember the fireworks. I don't remember the music. But as soon as it started, I was like, oh, here come the Moana fireworks with the little swirlies. Oh, here comes the heart. You'll be in my heart. That's how I know my music is synced up right. If it says heart and there's hearts in the sky, then we're good. So Krista and I sat on our little patio in the back that was designed to watch the fireworks, and both sobbed like small children. It was awesome to see.
So we played a little bit of the clip that you sent me, but you need to send me a picture that I can put right here of your like deck swing that was built to literally sit and watch the fireworks.
I will take a picture.
That is so cool to have finally seen. I've been to your backyard, don't remember it at all, but it was pretty dark.
It was like 11:30 at night. So
yeah, so you're pretty cool. Forgiven. And then now, okay, so we're recording this on Tuesday, June 29, and they're going to do it again, right? Tonight?
Yep, they're going to do it again tonight at 11:30. So that's why I'm glad we recorded this tonight. So that will force me to stay awake again until 11:30. So
Brandon, it's 7:58.
Yes, it's still a long. It's like half a work day away.
You've got 2 more naps you need to fit in to make it.
We just need to talk for a while.
Yes. Okay. Well, so which is the first time you said that, I immediately went back to, I forget where it was. Maybe it was in Frederick. I don't know. We came and hung out, and we played Tiger Woods, I think, in your basement. Yep. And the next thing we knew, we looked outside and it was daylight. And so now you're like, I need 3 naps to stay awake till 11:30. Yeah. Boy, have times changed. Yeah. When we used to hang out, you always used to, some reason, you would come when the time changed, either forward or back. Right. And we made it our mission to like stay awake until the time change happened. So we would be like, oh, look, it's 1. Oh, just kidding. It's 3. Oh, look, it's 1. Hey, it's 1 again. But now, I mean, and then we were like, let's play one more game. And then it was 6 a.m.
Then it was 6 a.m. So
to be young and dumb
it again. Is. I'm glad they're going back to 9:15 starting on Thursday.
Yeah. So, question: do you have a park reservation to grab it anytime in the first week?
Krista was messing around on the app today, and she's like, hey, there's a Magic Kingdom on Thursday. And like, by the time it registered in my mind that she said Thursday, and Thursday was July the 1st, and we would be able to go see the first show, she clicked out of it because she was trying to get Epcot. Why are you trying to get Epcot? I don't know. And then I was like, did you say Thursday? Like the first day of Happily Ever After, Thursday? And then by the time she went back, it was gone. So yeah, I tried to get like California Grill reservations so we could go to the top of the Contemporary and watch it. Oh man. I tried to get park reservations, so I'll mess around with it, but you never know. If I could, you never know.
It stinks you have to work that day, because it would make sense to get Epcot, but it would be silly to like literally walk through the turnstile at Epcot, turn around, get back in the car, go to Magic Kingdom to park on.
Yeah.
But I'm sure thousands of people are going to do that if they couldn't get into Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, for sure. So and people will stay at Epcot too, because don't forget that Epcot Forever is going to start the same night too. So
that's true.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of people at Epcot longing to see that filler of a show.
Yeah, that show is. I mean, do I have to say? Do I have to be? It's awful.
It's not good.
They should have stayed with Illuminations. I mean, I know that's me saying because it's my favorite show, like, of all time, but it's just not. It's a lot of it's a lot of Aladdin or Little Mermaid.
It's a lot of Aladdin, I think, because they play Whole World at Epcot. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I listened to the first time we went and saw that. I was like, what is happening? I understand you got to fold in all the Disney IP. I get it, but I was like, what does Aladdin have to do with Epcot? And there was a lot of Aladdin.
There was a lot. And now that they put the big barges out there, they took away the best part of Epcot Forever, which was the kites that were being pulled by the jet skis.
The jet ski fun.
I mean, you can't run a jet ski through the Stargate. So
I don't know. A cool ramp might make it happen, but then where are they going to end up going?
They'll land on that little island with the tree in the middle.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's talk about some crazy things have happened. So obviously, I don't remember if we mentioned it a few weeks ago or not. I don't even remember when they dropped it, but yes, fireworks are coming back. They start July 1. So when this comes out, it'll be Friday. So the first day of fireworks would have been the night before you could potentially have listened to our show or watched our show. So they're back. Woohoo! Epcot Forever. Isn't that what it's called?
Yes, Epcot Forever and Happily Ever After.
Can we talk a little bit about that?
Because it's not really forever.
It's a filler show called Forever. I have questions. Okay,
somebody didn't think that one. Somebody did not think that one through very well. It should have been called Epcot for a little bit.
I love it, man. So let's just stay in Epcot for a minute. Yeah. Okay, so something dropped yesterday. Let me look at the date of this. Yesterday, that extended evening theme park hours offering coming to Walt Disney World. So what this looks like is Disney's getting ready to announce an extended evening hours offering for their Walt Disney World theme parks. So details aren't here yet, but I would guess that this would be, maybe they'll implement it either this summer or closer to the 50th launch. I don't know. If speculation, I would think the 50th would make sense, like to just start all this together. But I mean, if they're trying to entice people to come and stay on property, because I think that this is going to be a on property thing only. So I could be again. We love to speculate. Batting 2 for 909. But yeah, so I think this is going to be like that resort guest early entry that Disney announces coming later this year. But this will obviously be in the evenings, which I think, I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinions. I mean, I guess if you've got little kids that rise early, you love like early morning magic hours, even though I know that's not really a thing right now. Yeah. But the parks are 100-fold more magical at night. In my opinion, our family has always loved being there at night, especially in the warmer months, because it's just cooler. You don't have that sun right near the equator
down on your face,
down on your soul and ripping you in half. So this is what I was hoping for. It's these kind of things, right? And so I think I would not surprise me if it started off for just on property only. That wouldn't shock me. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't know when they're going to do this. I hate that they do these vague things, like that they talk about that. Just say when you're going to do it. Like, I never understand when companies like announce something and then they're like, hey, we're going to be doing this.
Yeah, we got this great idea that we're going to do sometime. Just stay tuned. We may announce it.
Yeah. Like, and especially with like what we're in, like, to me, like, if you don't say something, I assume everything is 2022 because they're still like waiting for like the world to still get back to some type of normalcy than it was. Again, I don't think it'll ever be the same like it was, but some type of, even though the parks, especially in Orlando, feel very normal. And we'll talk about that when we do our like quick trip unpacking. But I just say when you're going to, like, there's no real need to announce it, especially if we don't get details. I understand if you were to say, hey, this is coming for our on-property guest, and that would hopefully drive people to book. But you're just saying like, hey, we're going to be offering these things coming soon. Tell your friends. You'll get to experience it sometime.
And why would you, like, if we think it's going to be on property guests, like, why wouldn't you just call it extra magic hours? Like,
I know.
Were they sitting around a boardroom and they were like, if anyone says extra magic hours, you're getting whipped. Do not say the words extra magic hours.
We're not going with any verbiage that was pre-COVID. We're just not going to do it.
That's right. It doesn't exist anymore. They are extended evening hours.
That's right.
Yeah. But I agree. I mean, that would be a way to entice people. Obviously, all the hotels are not open yet, so you still have a ton of capacity available at Disney and on property, you know, like Port Orleans and all that stuff. They're not open yet. So it would be a way to get people back into the resort, and it would be a cool offering. So I agree. I think it's a good thing, but just say what it is.
Like, what? Hey, there's this weird thing that happens that, like, once a secret is out of the bag, it's out.
It's out. Yeah.
Like, why leave everybody saying, well, when are they going to do it? What's going to happen? What is it going to be like? Where do you have to stay? Like, well, it drives me crazy when anyone, especially companies, corporations, business, whatever, announce something and you're like, I didn't have 17 questions a minute ago, but now I do.
My life would have been so much more simple if it said, on resort guests, something exciting is coming for you, evening hours in the fall.
You're right.
That's all you need to say.
But even me, I'm so cynical, I would be like, well, when in the fall? Like, the fall goes, because September 22nd is when it goes from summer to fall. So is it going to be like right up before Christmas? Because Christmas is still fall. You know, that's just me and my life.
Yes. I do know.
Okay. So I think we've beat that to death. Okay. So I've been privileged to do a couple of Run Disney events, not only just in Florida, but also in Disneyland. I think I did one of the last ones. I got to do the light side half marathon in Disneyland. And then I did the dark side half marathon in Disney World. And so I did that. Oh, excuse me. So I did that. So I could old man burp. So I did that so I could get the 10-year anniversary of the Coast to Coast medal It's like, not because I wanted to be fit. I wanted the hardware.
I wanted the stuff.
That's right. So they dropped a little teaser today, and
Yes,
tomorrow they are announcing something. Now, let's go back to the speculation game. And so so a lot of people have been thinking, wondering, hoping, fingers crossed, that they had not announced that the Wine and Dine was going to be a virtual event.
Yeah.
And so we're pretty late when it comes to that kind of timing.
Yeah, because that's usually what, October, November area? The Wine and Dine?
Yeah, it's usually early-ish November, maybe the second week. I can't remember. I feel like it's close to Veterans Day, but before that. Anyway. So they teased this little video and said they have something exciting coming tomorrow. And then when you read it, all the rumors are races are going to be coming back in 2022, probably beginning with in January, the Walt Disney World Marathon thing that happens, which is the biggest race that the world puts on every year. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, I would love to see it be with November because again, like, man, other than the limitation of the parks, like it feels very normal. It
feels super normal.
So I don't know, I guess we'll just go until we hear what it would make sense to do a clean fresh start in 2022, but like at the same time it's like, man, it's got to be hard to, well, no, let's further unpack that. So if it's 2022, could there potentially be no more like limitations on capacity? Maybe that's what they're waiting for.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I think after we get through the winter time, that's when this whatever is supposed to come back with Fury. If we can get through there and the world's still kind of normal, then I think Disney goes back to. Yeah, I mean, like we talked about a lot, reservation system stays, but Disney goes back to full capacity. I mean, none of the parks ever reach full capacity unless it's New Year's, but I think that you may have a point there that let's bring these races back when we don't have to worry about, oh, you're coming to race, but you might not be able to get into a park. So
I don't know what those numbers are like, but it's like they're hugely popular. I mean, they literally, if you're familiar with Epcot's parking lot, typically where you go down, you've got Journey on the left, right? In Journey on the left? Okay. And
Journey's
then
on the left,
there's like that massive, and then where you typically exit and go left to go back out of the park, there's a whole other side parking lot over there, and that's where they typically set up camp. That's usually either the start or the finish line or both, depending on the race. And so, it's just a massive amount. I mean, I did one of the races that I did start in the Magic Kingdom parking lot, and so I mean that's that parking lot is the size of small towns. So,
and again, and also, I mean, they have to have the capacity. If you want all these people to come, the hotels have to be open. So,
got
to get the rest of the resort property. So
as true.
we were talking before, and I thought maybe the Wine and Dine, but now thinking through this and talking through this, I don't think they have enough time to register people to get there and travel plans and plane tickets. I mean, airlines are canceling thousands of flights per day because more people want to travel than they have planes for. So it makes sense that it probably is not going to be till 2022, but I think it's more logistically, where are we going to put these people? Right. If they can't go in a park, they can't go in a resort hotel. We got to have somewhere to put them. So I agree. Maybe that Disney Marathon weekend in January is probably a good idea.
I flipped my thought. I originally thought, man, well, they haven't said anything. They haven't made that one virtual. Maybe but I think the capacity thing is probably what is holding them back. I don't even know if that's the right phrase to go with, but limiting, like maybe they're ready to and they want to, but if capacity is still set at 50% through the fall, right? I mean, there's again, this is all based on. Let's talk a little bit about that. Like, so this capacity thing, this is not based on like COVID anymore. This is my opinion. I don't think this is based on COVID anymore at all. This is based on staffing. Like Disney is having a massive hiring spree to bring people back. And we'll talk about that in a minute when we talk a little bit about Fantasmic. But I think that's the holdup, right? Like that's the problem of, it's not that they don't want to, or it's not necessarily a safety thing anymore, because all of the distancing markers are gone. I mean, I stood in line with Johnny Snotnose running into me like it happened. And so, I mean, it felt very much like before, other than there was not really that long of wait times. That was really the only difference. But yeah, I think it's a staffing issue. Like it's just, I agree. They don't have enough people to open up wide open, because all of the resorts aren't back. I mean, they've still got several resorts that aren't even open. I mean, today, this week, they also announced that so Poly was open for DVC, and now those rooms have been closed down for refurb, and they're being put up somewhere else.
Yeah.
I did
see that. Yeah. I mean, I was looking at job listings today down here, and Disney's offering so many hiring bonuses just for all sorts of positions: bus drivers, custodial, housekeeping. Like you're there for 60 or 90 days, you get half your bonus, and if you stay for 180, you get the other half of your bonus. So, I mean, this was kind of to be expected when you let your entire workforce go, like that. It's going to take a while. People moved on, they got furloughed. They said, hey, your job will be here, but people are saying, how long do you wait? So people have moved on. They've opened their own, they're self-employed now, or open their own businesses to make money. We have a fair down here. It's called like Beyond the Ears or something like that. And it's all past Disney cast members. That it's kind of like a craft trade fair. Cool. But it's all cast members who have started kind of their own business, and the community goes and supports them. So
awesome.
A lot of people have started doing things like that, and they're not going to come back to Disney. So I agree with you. It's probably a staffing issue. A lot of the restaurants aren't open, so there's just, you can't go full bore with guests.
Yeah,
you don't have people to take care of them.
Disney is a big monster. That's a lot of moving parts. Well, I think this transitions really well. Let's just talk about this. So, we saw today that there somebody sent blogmickey.com a flyover photo of Fantasmic, and it is still sitting empty and dead as can be. And so, if you remember, months now ago, we thought if they're going to start a nighttime attraction, Fantasmic made the most sense. The show is by default socially distanced, or physically distanced, not socially. You've got this big outdoor amphitheater that you could space people plenty far apart, and then of course now fireworks are coming back like in a hours, 72 plus hours, and there's still no Fantasmic and no announcement. And so now the rumor is 2022, and I'm like, daggone. But see, here's the thing, going right along with that, when you think about Fantasmic, that show is not only a massive space, but it is a massive production to put on. And so there's hundreds of people and hundreds of positions that they have to fill that have nothing to do with the characters that are in the show. Yes. And so you're talking, when you think about that, it's like, here's the problem. Let's just say some of them that were furloughed came back. Well, even if they did, there's a whole new training that has to happen. And then those who are new to the show, they have to learn the show and all this that's clearly not even happening yet. If the tank is empty, it's not happening. But it's just people, we forget very quickly what it takes to make that juggernaut run. And it's people, thankfully, right. And I mean, that's one of the reasons that we love Disney as the cast members, but these people behind the scenes now thinking about that, it's like, wow, it's hard to believe that even in its condensed and changed form, that Festival of the Lion King came back. And just imagine all the people that put that show on that never ever come from behind the curtain. Yeah.
That you never see. Insane. It's almost like a Broadway show. I mean, when you go to Broadway, you see the 25 actors that are singing and dancing, but you don't see the stage technicians and the costumers and the light changers and that show would be pretty darn boring without all those other people. So I mean, Fantasmic, when I saw that picture today, I was like, well, that's depressing.
We're nowhere close.
That's super depressing. There's not even water in it. And that there was a one that came out today just like that for Typhoon Lagoon, and it was an overhead shot, and the wave pool is completely empty aside from some green slimy water at the front, and then the lazy river looks like Ecto Cooler. It's just completely green. But I mean, that place is nowhere near opening, and I mean, even if they had the staff, that place, it's going to be next year before that place opens. So I saw those two things today, and it just made me realize, like, yeah, Disney feels normal, but there's still a long way to go. Long way to go.
I both said the same thing at the same time. That was creepy. So when you say that, okay, like, so we're pushing through this pandemic, right? Okay. Yep. And now, so when the zombie apocalypse comes, there's no doubt that it's coming from that green slimy water at Typhoon Lagoon.
Gosh. There will be some sort of mutant alligator that comes out of there.
No. Oh, that was another thing that I read. I actually read that when I was in Florida with you guys, that Disney has, like, since that horrible accident that happened where that 3-year-old was killed by an alligator, since then they have removed 250 alligators from property.
200, that's a lot of alligators.
Yeah. And that's the ones that they've seen, found, and trapped.
Yeah. And that surprises me, because one day we were on the ferry boat back to the parking lot, and we were talking to one of the cast member attendant guys there, and we were like, do you ever see alligators, like, out on the bank? Or he's like, I've been working here for like 8 years. I've never seen an alligator. So that shocks the heck out of me that 250 gators have been removed from property, and that guy's like, I've never seen one.
Now it feels like they were all in the same, like, place. They found where they all lived, and like, let's clean them out.
Let's get them. It was 250 alligators in like 7 hours, but that's it.
More shocking news as we get ready for the 50th. The Citizen clock on Main Street is gone.
Yeah, I couldn't tell the time the other day.
If that had happened when we've been there, I would have been like, I don't know what to do. Of course, my daughter would have been like, doing the Moana thing, and but okay, so we all know that. Well, we don't all know, but this, I'm certain, is going through a quick refurb to get ready for the 50th and make it all beautiful and shiny and new again. But yeah, it's like, I kind of feel like, has that ever happened?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny. That clock always, like, I know it's there, but I don't realize it's there. So I saw the story about this clock being removed, and we were in Magic Kingdom a week ago, and I don't remember walking by that clock. What? But then I feel sad that it's gone for a while.
I almost always take a picture of it. I have it, like, with Christmas stuff in the background, and I have it with the fall stuff in the background. I love that. It just feels so, like, royal and regal. I don't know why I rolled my R. That was weird.
That was super creepy.
But hey, good news is there's still one on the Cinderella's Castle. So just walk a couple of football fields forward. You'll be good to go.
You'll know what time it is.
Which reminds me, like, when the 50th crest comes, is it covering the clock? I have to look back at the pictures. I can't remember where it's going to be.
Concept art.
Okay, I have a question for you. I know for quite a while you had dreams, hopes, and aspirations of, and maybe people don't know this about you, of becoming a safari driver at Animal Kingdom.
I still have those dreams,
bet you do.
Wishes and aspirations.
So my complaint for you is, if you would have flew to those new heights, I don't know where this is going, that you would be a cast member there. I'll just get straight to the punch. And if you were a cast member, you could have a freaking Casey's hot dog tonight.
I could. Now, there is speculation, though, that the cast member preview is only for cast members of Magic Kingdom.
Oh. Well,
so there is speculation. I don't know that 100% for sure.
You're off the hook then.
But I talked to a couple friends who were cast members in other parks, and they did not get an invite to that. So we think it may just be Magic Kingdom. But yeah, I mean, I would still love to be a cast member.
I
Yeah,
know.
we probably haven't talked about that, but before the pandemic happened, I was seriously thinking about trying to become a seasonal employee of Disney, and that just means once you go through training and everything, you essentially can work when you want. Maybe people don't know,
that
but
job.
maybe people don't know. Part-time people have to be available for at least 3 8-hour shifts.
Okay.
So there's not 8 days in a 7-day week. There's no way I'd be able to work a part-time job at Disney and my real job.
Okay.
So I would have to find a way to be a seasonal employee, which just means like if I wake, Friday night, if I go on the scheduling and say, oh, I want to work on Saturday, I log in and hopefully there's a slot. But
Nice.
hopefully it will still happen once things get back to normal with all the money they're throwing at people to hire them.
Right. Maybe you should fill out an application.
You would think they'd take anybody, but we'll see.
We'll take everyone but Brandon.
That's right. Everyone but you, sir. Yeah, I know you want to work and you know the whole spiel for the safari, but we don't need you.
Yeah, we don't need you. So I would say this is a fairly good sign for those of you who absolutely love Casey's Corner and, of course, their delicious hot dogs, that they're going to be opening soon. Now,
yes,
doesn't mean they're going to be open Thursday, but you can't help but think that that would be a nice dry run if they wanted to open on Thursday, or at least by the weekend. So fingers crossed for all of our fans of Casey's. I guess they have fans.
Now, and I guess when they open, it's going to be all mobile. Like the other quick services.
We talked about this last week, right? One of the things that we love, and like, I hope this is just moving forward. I can't. It would be silly for them to take this away. Like it's beneficial to everybody, right? I mean, it keeps people from crowding in. It keeps you from standing in line and just feeling like, oh my gosh, it's taking forever for the family of 17 with Johnny Snot-Nose to order all of their food. I have loved it. I mean, I have absolutely loved it. The biggest thing that I think I talk about this every time is, if you're there during a busy time and you're hungry at noon and you think, because most quick service right now are only mobile order. Like they will not let you in until your order is ready. So I don't go during a popular meal time and log on to the app and think that you're going to like it. It is taking up to 2 hours for some people to be able to order their food, like meaning that they log into the app and where it goes to, I want to eat here. And then you pick a time. If you're in a busy day during a busy time, hint, if you think you're going to be hungry around lunchtime, just order it at 10 a.m. because you can set your time anytime during the day. Yeah. So it's bonus tip. I mean, I feel like we'd give that bonus tip every time, but definitely do. We didn't have any problems at all, but I never ordered, I stayed ahead of the curve. I didn't want to run into that because when you have a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old and when they're hungry, it's like they haven't eaten in 8 years. Immediately. There is no build up. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm starving. Where it's like, I haven't eaten for 6 hours and I'm okay. And they're like, just realized you were hungry and now you're dying. Welcome to parenthood. It's amazing.
Welcome to life.
Hey, I think that's all of the news we wanted to catch up on. Is there anything else you wanted to chat about?
There is one thing I wanted to chat about, and it's kind of funny and ridiculous, but what about this lady who jumped off the Living with the Land boat and stole the cucumber? That
happened while we were there, didn't it?
Yeah,
or at least the news broke while we were there.
Yeah, I think it actually happened while we were during the day we rode Living with the Land at night and listened to Mike's sweet voice.
Get it, Mike.
But yeah, what do you think about these people jumping off rides? And I mean, yes, it's Epcot and people are drinking and they're silly, but I mean, this leads to a valid question. Are they going to put some sort of safety device on the thrill ride that is Living with the Land?
I just don't. Honey, your grandchildren are going to be so upset that you can never go to Disney World with them because you got a cucumber. A cucumber. Like that is the dare. You should have taken the physical challenge, or maybe that was the physical challenge.
That was the physical challenge. You can either answer this question or jump off a moving boat and try to steal a cucumber without falling. I just don't
understand. Like, this is why. Now, this is where all of the people will come in and say, "This is why Disney and alcohol doesn't mix." I'm like, no, this is why alcohol and Disney and stupid people don't mix. I just. There is not, like, Disney is not a mess around place. Well, I haven't heard any follow up from the story. I just watched the video. There's no doubt in my mind that they've been banned from Disney for life. There's no doubt. Like, Disney just doesn't mess around. I mean, I know this is probably the parent in me coming out. This probably sounds insane, but you could have hopped out and got like, there's like this much space between like the boat and like the thing. You could have caught your leg. It could have gone underneath the thing. Those boats are on track. It could have ripped your foot off, right? I mean, it could have been this like literally nightmare life-changing incident. Or you could have fallen under the boat. You could have got caught up in the track. The boat you could have drowned. Like, I know that's way over the top, but like, that's why you can't do this stupid stuff. You could have died in 14 inches of water for a cucumber. I know it wasn't for the cucumber. It was just to be cutesy and funny. Well, your children will love you in 5 years when mommy, I want to go to Disney World. Well, no. Dad can take you. Yeah, that was quite the story.
Yeah, that was a good story. That just came to my mind because it happened while you were here.
Yeah, that was a weird rant to go off on. A parent rant.
That was. Crazy. You went deep into the parent. Wow. The parent pool, if you will.
Now it looks like I don't sleep well at night, and I'm just a worrywart, and like. No, I promise. Part of me hopes that would have happened to somebody else. No, I'm kidding. So, okay, well, let's transition, if we can, to while I was there. So we went to Orlando for a week. Back to you, Brandon.
And it was fun.
It was fun.
Back to you, Dave.
So, okay, I guess we can unpack it a little bit. I'm a little burpy tonight. Sorry. Goodness.
It's that truly fruit punch I introduced you to.
It is delectable. It's Kool-Aid with alcohol in it. Okay. So this was not a Disney specific trip. It was actually never supposed to be Orlando at all. Right. Yeah. Even Florida. So my wife was like, we've been trapped at home with our children, and our poor children have been trapped at home for 18 months during this. She was like, I want to go on a legit vacation. I was like, roger that. So first I was like, we live near the beach. We ride our bikes to the beach all the time, but in Virginia Beach, the water is not exactly pretty. No. But I mean, it's nice. I'm not complaining, but it's not like Hawaii, just so we're clear. And so I was like, let's take our kids to see some beautiful water. So I started looking, and I was like, wow, our kids don't have passports, and wow, those flights are expensive, and holy cow, that all includes. I was like, well, that's out. Then I was like, oh, let's go to the U.S. Virgin Islands. No passport needed. Still, flights and hotels or resorts, crazy. And then I was like, okay, well, let's just start looking like along the Gulf, because like Sanibel and Destin, and I mean, there's still some pretty places. And then we were like, wow, we had the same idea that everyone else had. And so all that was left was like $600 a night places. And so I was like, okay. And then we found, which I knew about it, I'm wearing the hat to represent, we decided to stay in Margaritaville in Orlando, which if you're standing on the second story of the right place there and look out the window, you can see all of Animal Kingdom Lodge. And then of course you can see the park with Everest and back of Pandora. So it's very, very close to Disney. It's right across 192 from Disney, but our kids don't exactly excel in a hotel room with two beds. And so we knew we had to have at least a suite, but Margaritaville Orlando has these like cottages that are either one bedroom all the way up to 8 bedrooms. I was like, holy cow.
There were some serious houses there.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where we stayed. And then, but we actually flew into Tampa. So they just opened the guy that owns JetBlue just started an airline called Breeze this May, I think. And it opened in where we live, and it flew into Tampa. And so I I was like, ooh. So let me tell you why we did this. Money. So just so we can be clear, if you watch
it down for you.
if you watch Plan for the Magic or listen to it, you'll know that I am a budget traveler. So anyway, we booked this for the 4 of us to fly. Checking two bags each way. It was $499 round trip. So I was like, yeah, we're going to do that. And then the rental cards were like $150 cheaper there. So, all right. So we flew into there, drove to Orlando. It was like we landed at 3:30 on Friday. By the time we got the rental car and got out of
not a good time.
It's basically 5 o'clock. So it was 2 hours to get to Orlando. But it was fine. I mean, we prepped the kids the best we could, and traffic moved along. Brandon gave us some tips of when to get off I-4, and it worked out perfectly. It was just busy. There was no like wrecks, or it was just trafficy. Yeah. Anyway, so we spent a week there. We got a 2-bedroom cottage that was to die for. And so they have a great, I encourage you to look it up. Just go look up Margaritaville Orlando. Beautiful pool, crazy, incredible amenities. Like we got a lot of the stuff that they do in the Caribbean at the resort, we got to do there. Like we got to make tie-dye t-shirts, and they got to fill like little containers like full of colored sand, and they had like nightly games and movies at the pool. Like it was just great. So our intention was to go to Disney a couple of days, all of us. Well, we all know that addicted dad has the annual pass, but the rest of the family doesn't. And so for 2 kids passes
it was for your whole family.
Yeah.
So two
2-day kids and one 2-day adult was $1,140 for a park hopper. $1,140.
You could have flown on Breeze Airway 3 times.
What are you doing? I'm going back again. Why? Because we had the money. So unfortunately, my bride yet again didn't get to go. She hasn't been to Disney in like 4 years.
She keeps finding a way to like get out of that, because I know we try to continually convince her, like Kimberly, come to Disney, and she's like, yeah, I'm coming this time, and then something happens and there's no Disney for your bride. Yes. But she finds a way out of it every time.
At least she came to Florida, and your wife was very happy.
She was very happy, and thank goodness she finally came to Florida.
More, hopefully again next year. Okay, so all right, I'm going to wrap this up because it's getting long. So what I chose to do was take 1 kid 1 day, and then that way mom had a day at the resort with just 1 kid, and then we swapped. Then I took our other kid. Sounds weird. I took my daughter on Sunday, and then my son got to spend a day at the resort with his mom. And then I took my son on Tuesday, and my daughter got to spend a day at the resort with her mom. And so it worked out wonderful. It was a great time. That like I loved having that like actual house, because you guys got to come over, and there was like a couch. Yep. And of course it's Margaritaville. So they had this massive Margaritaville machine to make like your favorite frozen concoctions, which I bought and brought home. 100% true.
Their marketing worked amazingly for Dave. Dave is the reason that they put those machines in the cottage, because he's like, his daughter learned how to make I taught his daughter how to make the strawberry daiquiris. So she
with no alcohol.
With no alcohol. But she may have sweet talked him into buying that. So yeah, Dave was the sucker that marketing was for.
I was like, well, it was $100 cheaper at the resort than it was on Amazon. And I was
which is weird.
So we bought a duffel bag and stuffed all of our dirty clothes in there and put the whole box. Yeah, you don't even know that. We put the whole box and never took it out of the box and flew it home.
Nice.
So I was going to ship it, but then I was like, if this breaks. And then we spent $35 on a duffel bag and $20 to add another bag to Breeze to be able to, to check another bag. I was like, it's going to cost the same amount. And I mean, I know they throw but I mean, I'll get to keep it in the box, and it'll be padded with clothing all around it. So it worked out great. But yeah, it was awesome. I if you like to stay off property and you go to Disney, oh my gosh, I cannot recommend that place enough, especially if you have a bigger group, because I'll just tell you, I'll tell you, we spent 6 nights there in a 2-bedroom house. They call it a cottage because they want that whole, and they're all painted like, imagine Key West, how all the houses are like those beautiful pastel colors. That's what the entire place is. And again, I tell
except for that weird taupe one that was 3.
They had the flesh colored one. I was like, if I'd have got that one, I'd have been pissed. And then some of them have hot tubs, and then all the ones that are along water, and usually they're bigger, they're anywhere from the 5 to 8 bedroom ones, have a pool in the backyard. Now it's like a postage stamp pool, but they have a pool. Like it was like a requirement. Like if they're going to be on the water, they have to have a pool. And I'm like, the pool at the resort was the size of a small country. It was a giant pool.
It was giant.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't recommend this place enough. And I mean, we stayed in a 2-bedroom. So each room had a king, and then the downstairs couch folded out. So, I mean, it can effectively sleep 6 people easily. And it was before all of the fees, smack dab in the middle of summer, was $1,400 for 6 nights.
That's pretty good.
A 2-bedroom like DVC place, they probably started $1,000 a night, or let's just be conservative, 7 to 8. And we paid $1,400 for 6 nights, and it's basically brand new. And why I say that is I think it opened in 2019, and then you had the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was I mean, when we walked in, it was set up like a model home. Like the table was completely set. It was gorgeous. So yeah, that was our stay. We actually ended up, we were going to do Blizzard Beach. We did talk about doing that. And then we actually ended up doing H2O water park. So literally in front of I don't know if they own it or not, because it's all this huge area. You've got Margaritaville, and then you've got Sunset Walk, which is like shopping, dining, retail,
restaurants,
desserts.
Yeah. They had a car show while we were there too.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then right next to that was this place called H2O Live, which is a water park, which was awesome. It's just the layout of that place is horrific. Like if you wanted to go, here's our map. If you wanted to go here, you had to start, and you were here. You had to go like this. You almost had to go backwards. They go over here and then around here. It was like, oh my gosh. I was like, why is everything just the way they did it? I mean, I'm sure it was to do traffic and flow, but it was not the greatest layout. Like we rode 2 rides and I was like, I'm exhausted. We walked 4 miles, but it was cool. So we actually ended up getting an annual pass because it was cheaper than going twice. So
you have to come back is what you're saying.
That's what I done. So hopefully if I bring Zay back in November, we can scoot over there for a day, assuming it's all heated. Well, it'll still be hot in November in Florida.
Yeah. It's Florida.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I got. I mean, we got to spend Sunday at the park. We went to Magic Kingdom, and then, park hopped over to Epcot. And of course, you know, the way all my timing works, we missed the fireworks by a week and a half.
Yes, indeed.
Last time I was there.
I was thinking,
go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about all those lucky people who just happened to be, you know, booked the Contemporary for this week and we'll get to see the show. There was a great video I saw on TikTok. It was somebody was filming the test of Happily Ever After the other night, and then as soon as the grand finale was over and it did the dun 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 and the crackly things, like you hear everybody at the Contemporary above them just cheering and screaming. It was the coolest video. So I mean, just think how lucky you're. Like, all right, we got this cheap room at the Contemporary because there's no fireworks, there's no nothing. Right. They're trying to get rid of the rooms, and you just happen to be there, and they're like, hey, fireworks will be this Thursday.
Nailed it.
That's pretty cool for those people.
Yeah, last time we were there, we went home the day that the People Mover opened. I just like
you have great timing.
Nailed
Your
it.
Timing.
Hey, I'm coming from the 50th. It'll probably be canceled.
That's probably true. They'll move it to the day after you leave.
Oh man,
delays. We don't have staffing.
Okay, Brandon, guess what?
What?
We did it in under an hour.
Dang.
We did it.
I mean, we might be getting better at this.
Victory. Well, it happens when you don't have Matthew. Who knows when he's coming back?
Yeah, he's off finding himself, I think.
Yes.
He's on another Disney podcast sabbatical.
There it is. Speaking of finding us, you can find us on This is pretty cheesy. Magic of the Mouse Radio. We usually air every Saturday and Sunday. Love Bill and the guys over there. Love being a part of that. And of course, as always, if you still haven't made it back to the park and you need that wonderful scent, go to parksense.com, enter DISPOD20, DISPOD20, and get you 20% off of a candle, wax melt, room spray. They have all the things.
Yes.
I'm still burning Haunted Mansion in my office every day. Everybody walks down the hallway. They're like, it smells really good down here. Like, that's right. And I'll be like, foolish mortals.
Welcome to my office.
Yes. Hey, I think coming up soon, I definitely, if you're thinking about getting back in the travel game, I cannot recommend more Mike's Tom show, Travel to the Magic. He is a new show that's on our neighborhood of shows. And I think we're going to have him on in a couple of weeks and talk about, because he got to go to DLP for the pass holder thing that happened a week or so ago. And I just want to catch up with him and talk a little bit about his show and what you can discover on there. And it's great. And of course, he's our travel agent of choice, which is flymickeytravel.com. So words are my favorite. And so, we got a lot of pieces moving. Emily's getting ready to come on in the next month with
Disney Plus and Pixie Dust.
Disney Plus and Pixie Dust. I love it.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah.
That's it, man.
That's it.
That's all I got.
That's all we got. And don't forget, you can find us on all the socials. You can find us on Instagram, and you can find us on Facebook at Another Disney Podcast. You can also find us on Twitter at Another Diz Podcast. You can check out our website, anotherdispodcast.com. There you'll find links to all of our shows, our merchandise, and all the other shows on our neighborhood of networks. That's not right. Our neighborhood of shows. And then also you can check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Another Disney Podcast. Make sure you check out all of our shows on there. Yeah. I do have to say, this week's Experience Disney was epic. I watched it today. I really enjoyed the China Pavilion. There was stuff in there that I was like, I've been to Disney like 100 times. I've never seen that. So that was really cool. I enjoyed it. So everybody check that out.
Yeah, they still have, I know Shanghai just celebrated their 5th anniversary. They still have a whole bunch of stuff set up in there talking about the Shanghai Disneyland. They have cast member outfits and all kinds of wild and random stuff in there. It's really cool.
Nice. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right, man. Until we meet again. Which will probably be September 29th, but we'll be back next week for another show. Bicycle.
Bye.